Knock, knock. Who's there? It's you. It's you who? It's you who's in the way of your own damn success, man. Hey, listen. Is success in today's economy a joke? The answer that I want to give you is absolutely not, depending on you. And the reason why I say that, we've all heard this term glass ceiling. And I'm not talking about the ceiling that is on a house. I'm talking about the idea or the concept that is bandied about that there are these invisible structures that are systemic, that are function as limitations to keep people from ascending up the org chart. And typically it's tied to women, but I've also heard people of color or other marginalized groups who will use the same concept of this glass ceiling. However, whether or not this ceiling exists or whether we can prove that it exists, to me is irrelevant. And here's why. Because I think whatever power that glass ceiling has to keep us from accomplishing what it is that we want to accomplish, it pales in comparison to what I refer to as the invisible ceilings. And the invisible ceiling is also known as limiting beliefs, limiting factors, limiting thinking. I've even heard it called stinking thinking. As a matter of fact, let's listen to the legendary success expert and author Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is going to put it in his own words. Let's hear how he has to say it, just so I can borrow from his authority. Let's listen.
There are no limits on what you can achieve with your life except for the limits you accept in your own mind. Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and today I want to talk to you about a topic that ultimately marks the difference between those who achieve major success and those who don't. And it is called limiting thinking, or self-limited thinking. When you practice limited thinking, you paralyze yourself at the start line. You become so obsessed and distracted by making excuses and convincing yourself that you can't do something that you don't even give yourself the opportunity to try. This way of thinking is one of the biggest preventers of achieving your goals.
That's all I need to hear, Brian. And the thing is, we have heard this over and over and over again on TV, YouTube, podcasts, but then we stop listening, or at least we don't believe it, and we turn right back around and get back into our own ruts. We complain about the job, the traffic, the boss, all those things. And the truth is, if we don't like it, we can change it. However, what limiting thinking does, or what I call the invisible ceiling does, it constricts your own idea or vision of your present self and your future self. That you can't even see yourself doing better, having more, or going to the places that in your mind that you would like to, or when you do, there's something deep inside of you that almost tells you that's not real, that's not possible. I'm suggesting here that it is possible, and it is a ceiling that is almost as powerful as an actual ceiling or an imaginary prison, because no man can go higher or succeed more than his vision of himself and his abilities. And the fact of the matter is that between where we are and where we want to go, there are steps, or dare I say, tasks that have to be accomplished, and particularly in a certain order. But we can only do one at a time. And so what happens is that we look at this vision of a new house, a job, business, or whatever the goal might be as so big, which is fine, but the big version of it overwhelms us. We have to chop it down into these manageable steps that we know that we can accomplish today. And then the next one after that, and the next one after that. But you gotta first believe that you can do it. We've heard the songs, I believe I can fly, the cliches, if you believe it, you can achieve it. But we've heard it so much that now it's become just, it's blending into the background. It's white noise, when in fact the answer is right there. Believe. That's how I feel about it. As a matter of fact, let me come clean and tell you why I'm so on fire about this. It's because I I have had for decades this thing that I can do more, be more, have more. I've been in management development, leadership development, teaching and instructing leaders as well as managers and people, adults that is, in the business world to be able to manage people. Okay. To do that, I have to do a lot of reading, and I've accumulated all this knowledge, but I'm giving it to other people, but not using it for myself. And so one day I'm listening to a guy named Wes Watson who said, "You're worth it. And if you believe that you are worth it, then you would stop eating the things that are making you fat or feel sick or slow or sluggish. You would stop drinking as much alcohol or hanging out at the bar, and you would begin using that time wisely to get the thing that you actually want to have in life. If you believed that you were worth it, you would do the work necessary, even the hard tasks, to get yourself closer to what you want to have." And so I realized that I didn't really believe I was worth it, not subconsciously. And we wonder, where do these ideas come from that create the limiting ceilings or the invisible ceilings? Maybe it came from childhood, something your mother said, your father said. Not saying they intended to do any harm, but we know we've all had the people in our lives who, meaning well, actually hurt us or our mindset or psychology. They said things like, "Hey, go to school, get a job, and, just do that and you'll be fine." When all that time inside of you, there was something bigger. There was something greater. But to not disappoint them, you did what they said do. And the more time that went by between you doing that and you stepping into what you really wanted to do, the less you believed. And then we come up with these excuses and we start playing the blame game. And then things like the glass ceiling become convenient. Things like racism, sexism, do those things exist? Sure they do. But to the extent that I can't get a business license, to the extent that I can't deploy my education and expertise, package it in a way to be able to market it to the marketplace and receive compensation, to the degree that I can't then begin to pare down and improve my processes so that I can reduce waste and increase productivity to make more money, or whatever your goal might be? I think not. I think that ceiling is invisible. And so when I listened to Wes Watson that day, I said, I'm worth it. I believe it. And the glass or invisible ceiling, it crumbled. And now I'm after it. My question is, will you go after it? That's what I'm going to be bringing on this channel each and every time I show up. If you want to come along on that journey, you're welcome. Come on with me, because I'm bringing that heat every single time. Listen, my name is Carl Latting. I call myself the lifestyle architect because I'm dedicated to building and designing the lifestyle that I want to live. And in doing so, as I learn and as I apply things, I want to share that with you. Come along, join, subscribe, like, share. I'll see you guys next time. Be blessed.